Hey guys, this is the Dark Passenger, just here to review Ted 2. Yeah, this film came out this year, and I, just got done watching it. It's basically this one, we have, Ted is back. He gets married to his girlfriend, Tammy Lynn, but then basically finds out that he's not a person because they try to adopt a baby, and the adoption agency or whatever tells them that legally, in the eyes of the law, of the state, he's not considered a real person. So after that, he just kind of goes and hires a lawyer to fight it, to sue the government for his civil rights. That's pretty much what it's about. And also Mila Kunis, she's not back in this because the story here is that John and Laurie got divorced. Basically, they got divorced six months before Ted's wedding, pretty much. Yeah, that's what the story was there. There might be some spoilers in this review, just letting you know now. So but yeah, if I do get into some spoilers, I'll say so you can turn it off for those of you who haven't seen it. But yeah, we've got Mark Wahlberg back as John Bennett. We've got Seth MacFarlane voicing Ted again. I'm not sure who plays Tammy Lynn, though. Yeah, that's the only character I'm not sure of. And and also Amanda Seyfried, she's the lawyer that Ted and John hire to sue the court for, the government for his civil rights. This movie was great. Honestly, it was hilarious. It was much better than the first film, in my opinion. I just laughed so much and so hard pretty much throughout this whole film. Honestly, throughout this whole movie, I could not stop laughing. I am gonna get into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Ted 2 yet, I just recommend that you turn this off now. This first hearing, they kind of they do lose. They lose because this really good lawyer gets hired for the defense, and he basically makes a point to the judge and the jury that he is not a person. He gets Ted to press his chest after he finds out from one of the people that worked at Hasbro, which is where Ted was manufactured, that the bears were programmed to say 5 different phrases or something. And then later on, this lawyer gets Ted to press his chest, and that kind of proves that he's not a real person. I guess that was the main reason that he lost the first time round anyway. And yeah, and there's also this really funny part where they're just on their way to New York to see some other lawyer after they lose, to see if he'll take Ted's case, because this lawyer's really good at cases like that, at kind of winning cases like that. So they go, you know, they're on the road to see him, and they stop off at a diner to eat. And then, you know, after that, Ted asks, yes, Samantha, that's the name of the lawyer played by Amanda Seyfried, if he could drive her car for a while. And she tells him no at first, but then he pushes her into it, kind of twists her arm to let him drive the car. And he's at the fucking wheel, smoking pot and just driving, pretty much not, smoking pot, drinking something out of a cup, and he doesn't even really look where he's going. He throws his cup onto another car's windshield, and it kind of swerves off the road behind him. And basically after that, he ends up swerving off the road himself and crashing into a barn. And they end up spending the night at that barn, and yeah, they find a field of pot plants. And this scene kind of, this scene does kind of remind you of Jurassic Park. You know, the scene where they first see the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Only this is kind of a mockery, I guess. When they first see the weed plants. Yeah, that was probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie for me. I mean, I really love that scene. And yeah. But they end up going to see this lawyer. Lawyer tells them no at first. He just tells them no, he can't do it because he doesn't consider him a person either. He doesn't he explained that to be a person you have to kind of contribute to society in a way, but all Ted's ever done was get himself arrested and do drugs and just go completely the wrong way, I guess. So that's why he wasn't really considered a person by this lawyer, I guess. So, but yeah, they leave after that, and also that creepy guy from the first one, Donnie or whatever the fuck his name is, he comes back. He tries to kidnap Ted again for one of the main guys at Hasbro. And they were gonna cut him open and so they could see what makes him real and make kind of millions of talking Teds for millions of kids around the world, I guess, including one for him, for Donnie, because in the first one it explains that he'd always wanted Ted for himself and everything, and this is he still kind of wants to possess one, so that's why he talks that guy from Hasbro into kidnapping Ted. Only Donnie doesn't succeed this time. He doesn't go to plan for him. And then, yeah, this was at Comic-Con, at the New York Comic-Con. After Ted ran off, he had an argument with John and Samantha about, because he was pissed off that that's it, he's screwed, he's not a person, pretty much. And that's how he ended up at Comic-Con. And yeah, and after that, Donnie kind of cuts this rope, kind of string or something that's holding a spaceship up, and that spaceship was directed at Ted, but John jumps in front of it, gets hit by it instead, and ends up under this big kind of TV type thing, I guess. And he ends up, I'm not sure if he really was in a coma, because he ends up in the hospital. Looks like he was in a coma, and Tammy Lynn, Ted, and Samantha were there, and then he basically ends up flatlining his machine. The machine ends up flatlining, and then they brought him back to life with the pedals, I guess. But he told the doctor to go out there and tell them that he didn't make it, because he wanted to get Ted back for making him think he was retarded at the end of the first one. It explains that later on, after John reveals that he was just fucking with Ted. That was a pretty funny scene too, I gotta admit. I kind of knew that it was coming, though. I just thought straight away, well, yeah, this is John getting Ted back for making him think that he came back retarded in the first one. I just knew that straight away somehow. I guessed it. And yeah, I am gonna talk about this end scene as well, because I can't not talk about the end scene, because this is probably my favorite scene in the movie. Tammy Lynn and Ted, after they win the case, and he's finally a person in the eyes of the law of the state, because of this lawyer that they went to see in New York. He came to see them at the hospital after John screwed with Ted and basically said, oh, well, you saved Ted's life, and basically he showed emotion. He showed real emotion when he thought that you were gone, when he thought that you were dead. Because obviously Ted thought that he was dead or in a coma or something at Comic-Con when that happened. Yeah, he basically agrees to take the case. Then it shows them in the courtroom, and he's talking to the jury about kind of civil rights, about the rights of a person, that kind of thing. And he ends up winning, because it shows Ted coming out victorious afterwards. And he proposes to Tammy Lynn again. They end up married again. Then just shows them all together in either their apartment or John's apartment. I'm not too sure. One of the two. But they're there together with their newly adopted baby. And they call him Apollo. That's like a Rocky reference. And, basically, the baby shits himself. Ted goes to change him, and he's just like, what the fuck? This is disgusting. Is this baby sick or something? Tammy Lynn tells him, no, he's not sick. That's normal. That's, what a baby does. That kind of thing. And then, Ted's like, this is disgusting and blah and all that shit. And he asks John, you don't think this is disgusting? You don't think this is not normal? Or some shit? And then he's just like, and then John says, I think it's normal. Ted's like, well, here, catch. Then he basically throws the shitty diaper at him. You hear it, go all over John. And then John's like, what the fuck? And then he takes a picture of John and posts it to Facebook, with the words hashtag shit happens. Yeah, that's the end scene. I couldn't resist talking about that because that is probably my favorite scene in the film. Yeah, I know this review might have gone on a bit long. I might have rambled a little bit, and yes, I'm sorry if I did. Anyway, just let me know what you thought of Ted 2 if you've seen it. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more reviews. I may review the Punisher next. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. Peace.